Welcome back everyone. On deck today for review is the M85 pistol. Pretty unique little pistol, similar to the M92, but there definitely are some differences that we'll get into coming up in the review. But great little pistol, great little SBR project. We'll get into that as well. And just keep shooting it and I'll let you know what I think of it coming up next. There you go. You can see from about 50 yards away I'm still able to get rounds on target, albeit not as fast as I could if this had a stock on it, but it still is capable of doing that. One of the things you just can't escape with a short-barreled rifle like this, especially without a flash hider, is the signature and the blast that you're going to get in low light conditions. So let's go ahead and test it out. The camera is set on low light settings, so that way it actually looks brighter on camera than it is out here in real life. It is almost completely dark out here, so we're going to go ahead and put a few rounds through it and see what kind of blast we get. As you can see, it's definitely pretty significant. Disassembly of the pistol is pretty much classic AK. Just go ahead and release your magazine. Go ahead and point in a safe direction, inspect the chamber, make sure the weapon is clear. It is. At this point, what we're going to do here is just press this little button here on the back of the receiver, and instead of a standard top cover AK which just would pop off, this one actually hinges up, and we're going to go ahead and leave it hinged up. Take out your recoil spring, take out your piston and bolt, and that is what that looks like for those of you guys out there that are wondering. And that is your field stripped AK. If you want to go ahead and take the top cover off, this little button right here is what you have to push out. With the top cover up, you just have to hit it. This one here is tight, which we'll get into a little bit later on in the review, and once that goes in, you just pop your gas tube right off. One thing to note while we have it off here is the gas block here is chrome lined. Anyway, reassembling it is just the same in the reverse order. The gas block isn't the only chrome lined part of this gun. The barrel itself is a 10-inch cold hammer forged chrome lined barrel. Now that is somewhat of a departure from Yugo Serbian guns of the past. Most of those have not been chrome lined. That said, this one was chrome lined in order to comply with the NATO standards, both the M85 pistols that are being imported into the United States and the military M85 underfolder rifles. You may have noticed when I had the top cover open that the rear trunnion on this pistol is an underfolder trunnion. But the receiver here is a little bit different than what you're going to see on the M92 that you guys have seen here on the channel before. This is the M85 up here in the M92 pistol. You can see it does have the bulged 1.5mm receiver. One of the downsides of the M85 is magazine availability and cost. Here in the United States, the M85 magazines, which this is one here, this is the original steel surplus, these are going to run $30 to $40 roughly. There are ways to modify the Circle 10 5.56 mags that will work in here, but if you're looking for a factory magazine, this is pretty much all you got, and they're certainly not cheap. The rear side of the pistol is mounted on the top cover of the pistol, and it does have settings for both 200 meters as well as 400 meters. The front side of the pistol has both the standard AK front sight post as well as flip-up sights, which were at one time were illuminated, but nowadays they will just give you a quick reference point if you're trying to bring the pistol up and fire quickly. The pistol is imported into the United States with a thread protector up front. The thread protector is 26mm and it is tack welded on there. It's also worth noting that the detent and detent pin do not come on the pistol as it's imported. That said, as you guys have seen on my M92, it is extremely easy to do. You just drive the pin home, put the spring and the detent in there, and you can put any kind of muzzle device, any kind of 26mm muzzle device on there that you so choose. As I mentioned earlier in the video, the gun comes with a underfolder trunnion installed in the receiver. Now you'll see here that this is where the serial number is located on the pistol. Now that presents a problem for those of you guys out there who are trying to SBR it and use an underfolder trunnion. There are ways around that. There's a million threads out there on the internet. I'm not going to go into it. That could be a whole separate video. But this pistol will be SBR'd by myself, so you guys can stand by and see how it does. Probably about 6 to 7 months from now, you guys will see a video on exactly how I did it. A few final thoughts on the gun. It's been 100% reliable with any kind of ammunition I put into it. Speaking of ammunition, one downside to a 5.56 short barrel rifle AK pistol or rifle, whatever it may be, that 10-inch barrel We all know that the 5.56 223 ammo doesn't do so well in short barrels compared to its 7.62 brethren. Just a chrono test I did of this, I chronoed some Silver Bear 55 grain 223 ammo, and I was getting just under, I believe it was 2,495 feet per second on average, so just under 25 feet per second coming out of this barrel. So that's pretty much what you guys can expect coming out of this gun. As all Zastava factory built guns are, which this gun is factory built, imported by Century, it is essentially overbuilt. It's extremely tight. The tolerances are tight. It's not your standard AK. I've had several Yugo AKs over the years, or Serbian AKs, whatever they call them these days, and they're all built that way. Safety's tight, top cover's tight. When you run the charging handle, it's tight. Everything is tight. The mag well's tight, and that's a good thing. Very high quality build, good finish, good fit. Nothing to complain about there. All in all, I mean, it really is a great gun, and these days these guns can be found anywhere from, in the US anyway, $400 to $600, somewhere in that range. So you tack on your $200 tax stamp, you put on whatever kind of stock that you want to do, and if you do the work yourself, you can have a extremely high quality AK SBR for under $1,000. It's 2013 as I'm shooting this. 6 months ago, we all know that I couldn't have said that, but the market started to settle down a little bit. Things are normalizing, and these things are a pretty good deal in today's market, at least in my opinion. But all in all, good gun. The next time you probably see it here on the channel, it'll be all cleaned up, have a muzzle brake on it, have the furniture refinished, and hopefully have a stock on it when I get my stamp back in. As always, guys, though, if you have any questions about this review, this gun, anything else I talk about here on the channel, you can feel free to post below in the comments section. You can also post over at my Facebook page. But thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing, and hope to see you guys in the next video.